Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Down to Earth Astronomy. Today we're taking a look at Fractured Space. The game just launched. It's out of alpha, and it's into what they're calling phase 1, which is the first version of the game. And this video is going to be for the new players that are hopefully going to join the game now that it's released. And this is the quick overview of what you're going to see in the garage, or in the hangar as they're calling it. Over here you will see your crew. So you can assign different crew members to the ship if you want to. I'll click up here, sorry. And you can see all the crew members give different types of bonuses, and you can get different crew members that will give different bonuses to that ship, and you can then customize the ship in the way you want it to. At the other side here, we see a list of available ships. We can see some of them are grayed out because I haven't purchased those yet. And they're divided into 3 different ship manufacturers. And they all have something in common. They often share some of the same abilities and weapon systems. Right when you start the game, you will have 3 ships available to you. You have the Sentinel, you have the Vulture, and you have the Pioneer. I'm not going to go into too much detail about the specific ships. Just want to give an overview of the actual game here. So those are the 3 ships you have available. Now, it's not like in many other arena fighting games where you have to unlock ships in a certain order through Tech 3. It's more like in other games where you have all the ships available to you right from the start, and the only thing holding you back from buying a specific ship is the cost of the ship. So you just have to collect credits to do by playing the game, or you can buy platinum for real money and purchase the ship in that way. And what they're aiming for with the game is that all the ships should be competitive with each other. The thing about the different ships is they just have very different playstyles. So, for instance, if I were looking at a ship like, let's say, the Reaper. The Reaper is a good mid-range ship. It has most of its firepower facing forward, so I need to be able to constantly face my enemy. So this would suggest I would try to stay at a medium range, try to stay maybe at the back of the pack when we fight, to optimize the amount of damage I do. Whereas if you play, for instance, the Brawler, which is a really close range fighter, you want to get up close and personal and really just begin to punch out the massive amount of damage that the ship can do at a close range. Or if, for instance, if you were playing the Overseer, this is a long range sniper, so you would probably stay all the way at the back trying to snipe at people and trying to inflict some damage, while the other ships in front of you are keeping them occupied, so they're not just gonna rush straight to you and blow you up. So as you can see, the ships fulfill different roles in the game, and you always play 5 versus 5. So one player will have a massive impact, can have a massive impact on the game. So you really have to consider what kind of ships you're selecting, and ideally you should look at what the other team members on your team selecting, and you should try to find a good ship that will fit well into the team that you're playing on. You can always, because all ships are unlocked right from the start, you just have to purchase them. You can always try them out. So if I wanted to try the Gladiator, I could go into the loadout, I could see some of the different abilities. And the same thing here, it's not like that, okay, so this is stock weapon, this is the slightly better, and this is the best weapon. They're pretty much equal. They probably do close to the same amount of damage. They just play out in a different way. They could be, maybe some of them have a higher rate of fire, or they have lower damage, but then an additional effect that maybe you slow down your enemy or something like that. So again, it's really up to your playstyle and how you like to play the different ships. And you can go in, you can click here, you can click try the ship, and you can go into to a small firing range where you can try out the ship, try to get a feel for how the weapon systems work and the maneuverability of the ships and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that's it about the ships. Let's look at the different game modes. So if I select any ship, it doesn't really matter. You're gonna select your ship later, and we click play. we can see you have a choice of 3 different game modes. You can either play solo, so that would be you and 4 bots against another team of 4 bots. Oh, sorry, 5 bots. So it's going to be a 5 versus 5, and you're playing with only AI players. You can also play co-op. Oh, yeah. Then you get into the lobby. If you play co-op, you play with a team of players against a team of AIs. And again, if someone from your team disconnects, then that ship will be taken over by an AI, and if they reconnect later, they will again regain the control of the ship. So it's a balancing because there are so few players in each match. And the last is, of course, multiplayer, full multiplayer. Where you play against 2 teams against each other with normal players. So no AI here unless someone disconnects. And in here you have 2 choices. You can play in what's called casual mode, which is what you would normally play, where you would get matchmaked into a battle and you fight against the team that you are matchmaked into. Or you play a custom game where you can play custom games against your friends. But I think that's pretty much it about the whole menu and the system and the game modes. But let's go ahead and have a look at some actual gameplay. Good. So we are in an actual battle here, and I'm just gonna go over the quick UI here. To the left on the screen, you can see your team. You can see their current health, which is shown as a green bar, and the energy level of the ship. So how much energy they have left to use for their weapons. At the right, and you can see also your own health and energy at the circular hot UI in the middle of the screen. At the bottom, you can see the different abilities that the ships have, and they will vary depending on the ship that you're actually playing. In the lower right corner, you can see a small mini-map, and the game is divided into 5 sectors. You have your own home base, which is of course the area you need to defend. Then you have the enemy base, which is the area you need to capture. Then we have 2 sectors at either side, the Alpha and Beta sector. We're currently in the Beta sector here, and we just encountered our first enemy. We're beginning to open up fire. You can see here I'm playing the Reaper, so I'm trying to stay at a medium range. I have other ships in there that are in close range brawling with them, so I'm trying to keep some distance and not getting too close. Okay, so you have the 2 sectors here, and you can see different bubbles in blue and red. The big circles at either end are the forward stations. If you capture the enemy forward station in a sector, you unlock jump access to the base, and you can go in and you can begin the capturing process. All the smaller circles are these mining outposts that are in the 3 of them in each sector, and by capturing those you collect materials that's going to level up your team as a whole, so not just you but the whole team. Which leads me to the top UI at the top of the screen. You can see if we go from left to right first, it says the amount of points that we have. You can see that we are currently, our team is level 2. And we're slowly gaining points towards level 3. Then there's a small 0 next to that. That means that my personal ship is currently level 0 because I have not returned to one of my allied stations or forward stations to upgrade the ship. And it says return to station for upgrades. So if I wanted to upgrade, I could go back to the station. But yeah, at the beginning of the fight, you're gonna upgrade so fast that you should probably do it once you reach level 3 or maybe 4. But anyway, the battle is raging on. We're fighting for control, trying to get to that forward station so we can unlock access to the enemy base. Now the last sector I didn't mention, that's the Gamma sector in the middle. And if you look at the UI at the top, you can see a small clock counting down. That's not to the end of the fight, that's until the Gamma sector unlocks. And in the Gamma sector, when that unlocks, you can jump in there, and there will be a special capture point that you can capture. And that capture point, whoever holds that, will then get a boost to all ships on their team. So if we hold the capture point in Gamma, we'll get a boost to rate of fire, to speed, everything. You just get an all-round boost to your ship. So it can be very, very important that you think about how you want to capture that. Are you going to just send in a few ships and hope the enemy does the same? Or are you going to go all out with all your team members and then leaving your forward stations unprotected, so the enemy could potentially go and attack those while you're in the Gamma sector? So it's again, it's a tactic that you need to consider when playing the game. And if we look at the UI again at the top, we can of course see the large circle that currently says 0%. That's the amount, with the blue background, that's the amount that the enemy has captured our base. And at the other side, we of course have how much have we captured their base, and what are their current level and their current points, and all that stuff. And in the lower left corner, we of course have a chat menu that you can use to chat with your friends. So I just died after a fairly long fight. We get a quick screen here that shows who actually killed me. And now we're just waiting for to respawn. There's about 10 seconds now. And while you're respawning, you can sit and consider where you should go next. You can see we're doing fairly well in the alpha sector, and we're a bit low on people in the beta area. So I'm probably going to jump to beta to try and support my team over there to make sure that the enemy team are not going to push too far forward. But let's fast forward a bit into the game until we actually get to the unlocking of the Gamma sector. Okay, so we're back. There are 30 seconds until the Gamma sector unlocks. You can see my ship is badly damaged. I'm around 50% armor, so I decided to go back to our forward station to get some repairs, because you can get repaired at this forward station and at your home base. I'm probably not gonna make it before the Gamma sector unlocks, so I have to join the battle late. We can see we already, if you look at the minimap, we already have one ship in there and the enemy have 3 ships. So we really need to get some ships in there. Now the Gamma sector's unlocked, you can see they're beginning to cap, because they of course have the majority of ships in there. So I decided, okay, I have to get the little repairs that I can get and just get in there, because we're losing the Gamma sector fast. So I'm trying to look for a good target, find a hunter, and I begin to open up. Now they already managed to cap the Gamma sector, but now that we're in here, we just have to get as many of the ships down as we can. This means that from now on, and in the next, you can see in all the ships, in the next, I think it's 230 seconds or something, they will have a significant boost to their ship performance, which is going to make life for us quite a bit more difficult. So we're just cleaning up in the Gamma sector right now, trying to get as many of the enemy ships down before we leave, which is going to make our life a lot easier when we're trying to make a push in either the Gamma or Beta sector later, because the enemy ships of course will be respawning. And again, you can see here I'm playing with the Reaper, so I'm always trying to stay with my front of the ship towards the enemy ship. You can see here when I'm not pointing directly towards the enemy, my rate of fire on my melee weapons are actually going down quite significantly. So the Gamma sector is cleared. So even though we are now holding the Gamma sector, we cannot cap it. Oh, okay, there's still one left. We cannot cap it, because once you have capped the Gamma sector, it's locked until it unlocks again. And we can see it's still 5.5 minutes before the Gamma sector unlocks again. So now that we cleared it, we're going to move back to the beta area, and we're going to continue trying to push through the beta area to get to that end station. So I'm going to forward a bit until we manage to unlock jump access to the enemy base. Okay, so you can see now we managed to cap their forward station in the Alpha sector, but the friendly team over there is still heavily engaged, and the enemy team have invested a lot of force in that area. to try and prevent people from getting into their home base. We cannot jump in because we are in the beta sector, but we also, because they are invested so heavily in the alpha sector, we can easily capture their forward station in the beta sector, and we can now jump to their home base. So here we have the home base, and there are these turret generators along the side, and if you take those down, they will reduce the fire that you're gonna get from the station, because the station is of course going to defend itself. We can see right now I'm the only one from my team here, and there's one enemy ship, and I'm currently beginning to cap. And we're already at 17%, and now we're having more friendly ships incoming. I'm staying close to the edge of the station to try and reduce the amount of turrets that can hit me, while I keep killing those generators to try and prevent the turrets from shooting at me. You can see we now have everybody from our team is now here, and that's when one of the ships spawned right next to me, which is unfortunate. I open up my shield, I get a little bit too far away from the station, which allows it to open up on me. But right now we have so many people in their base, so look at how fast we're capping. 60% and 70%. Now the enemy ship managed to kill me, but at this point I think it's too little, too late. It's just a shame that I couldn't be part of the final capture. And there we go, 100%, and the battle is over, and we won. And you get a nice flyby of your whole team, so you can see how awesome you look once you killed the enemy station. So again, this is Fractured Space. I hope you like the video. I hope you will try out the game. It's on Steam, so give it a try. I believe it's free to play now. I'm not really sure on that. Should look that up. But anyway, I hope you liked the video. If you did, subscribe to the channel, give the video a like down below, leave a comment and tell me what you thought about this video. And until next time, I'll see you in space.